G'day everybody, I'm here today with amazing artist Lior to talk all things folk. Just before we start, I would like to acknowledge that I'm coming to you from Ngunnawal country and I'd like to pay my respects to their elders past, present and emerging. Where are you today, Lior?
I am in Melbourne, Katie.
Yeah, so you're in Naarm and probably, maybe, are you north or south of the river?
I'm south. I'm a rare Southie.
Oh, okay. I know north is Wurundjeri country. I'm not sure. Some of the areas in the south, I'm not sure, but we'll just say Naarm because that sort of applies for both mobs in Melbourne. So, Lior, have you ever played the National Folk Festival before?
No, this is my first time, Katie. I'm excited. Heard many good things, but never gotten there. So first time.
Oh, we're so excited to have you. And your new project is a sort of duet project with an emerging sort of female singer-songwriter called Domini. How did that sort of come into fruition?
Yeah, so Dominique Forster, she is, like you said, emerging Melbourne artist. She started as my support act actually for a number of years and toured with me a lot of solo regional shows. And she's a beautiful singer and a songwriter. And I noticed that how much audiences were warming to her.
Yeah.
And yeah, after a few years of her supporting me, I was about to go in and record my most recent solo album, and we sort of said, oh, let's try and write a track together. We knew we loved singing together, and so we wrote a song called Where Will We Be, which made its way to my solo album, and that was the catalyst for us embarking on a collaborative project. We thought, we feel like we've got more songs in us together. And we started writing together, and then the pandemic hit, but fortunately we had enough body of work to sort of continue working on it remotely. And yeah, we recorded this EP pretty much mainly remotely.
Wow. Yeah, it's amazing how we all pivoted, the key word of the last 2 years, into different ways. Yeah, but I must say, now that we are sort of returning to the new normal and we're learning to live with this disease, it is amazing to get back together and see mates in airports and see the crew at venues and all that sort of stuff. So the theming of the National Folk Festival is find your home, find your family, find your folk. What does folk mean to you? What do you think folk music is?
It's a good question because folk is such a broad genre, but I suppose for me, folk at the end of the day is about communicating words at a deeper level, and I think that's what music does to words in folk. It tells stories and communicates messages and our identity, but uses music to communicate that on a higher plane, perhaps.
Yeah. And in regards to your sort of folk history, where are you from? Like, what's your lineage and connection to, your folk history?
Yeah, well, I was born in Israel, but my maternal and paternal side, mum is from Polish background and dad was born in Iraq. So I grew up having this real kind of hybrid of music from the East and the West, if you like.
Yeah.
And just later on, when I started discovering or exploring my own musical lineage, I found that it had seeped through and I was connected to both of those sides, and particularly in the way of approaching singing. I found that inflections and trills from a sort of more of an Eastern kind of influence came quite naturally to me. And people say, how are you doing that? And I was like, I don't really know. So I guess from a young age that seeped in and found its way into my songwriting, which essentially is more a conventional kind of Western folk songwriting, but it's infused with that Eastern lineage as well.
Yeah, one of my favorite, I mean, I love all your songs, but one of my favorite tunes is Bedouin Song, which I think probably is a good example of that sort of beautiful chromatic inflections in the vocal melody, which does sound sort of, I wouldn't know where it's from, but it sounds authentic to you and your sort of your history of who you are.
Yeah, you're right. That song lyrically as well, that was inspired when from a trip going back to Israel, visiting, my place of birth, and trekking my way down to the desert and spending some time with Bedouin people and just getting an eye opener into a completely different perspective of how to look at the world. And me being in my early 20s and trying to sort of navigate this thing called adulthood, just being privy to people who see the world in a much more transient kind of way. But yes, musically, you're right. It's just a hybrid. It's not. It doesn't conform to any particular school of singing. I guess it's just me absorbing bits and pieces and putting them together in a hybrid.
Yeah. Do you reckon you'll be doing that tune at the festival, or are you mainly focusing on the new material with Dominique?
The focus is on the new material, but within our set, we do a song or two each on our own. So, and I haven't chosen which one I'm going to do. So it may well make its way in. Yeah.
Oh, that's my personal request, because I absolutely love that song. I've never been to Israel. I absolutely want to go. I have recently just sort of been exploring the history of that part of the world, and it's just got such a huge, amazing history. How old were you when you did you come to Melbourne, or what's your history?
I came to Sydney when I was 10 years old.
Yeah, right. And do you speak Hebrew and English?
Yes, I do.
Amazing. Wow. And are you bringing up your children bilingual? Like, are your kids bilingual?
They're learning Hebrew, but I made the fatal mistake of not speaking to them in the second language from day one. Which is I think it's what you're meant to do, but I didn't. But they are learning, and it seeps via osmosis as well, so they can speak Hebrew. My daughter's very good. They'll get there. Yeah, but I think it's a good gift to be bilingual.
Oh man, it is. I find actually in Canberra's such an interesting place. It's a very multicultural place. I mean, obviously we have every embassy here, but just the general population is very sort of mixed, and a lot of people are I don't even know how you say 4 languages, but I was chatting with Kim Yang. She's a beautiful Canberra-based musician. She speaks 5 languages, and
wow,
she was born in Taiwan, but fell in love with an Aussie guy, moved here, and yeah, it's just fascinating talking to everyone about their folk history, like where their family comes from. Well, we can't wait to have you. We're going to have you on our beautiful new Ngunnawal stage, which is that's a Ngunnawal word meaning sort of coming together and well-being, which I think we all need more than ever in these times. And I think you and Dominique are also one of our featured guests in our closing concert on the Monday night, which would be really special.
Can't wait.
Yay. We can't wait to have you and see you.
Thanks for having us, Katie. Yeah.
Yay. All right. Be well, brother.
Thank you too, and look forward to seeing you.
Yeah. Are you bringing the family, or are you just?
No, it's a bit of a work. Yeah.
No worries. Well, I'll see you there. Take care.
See you, Katie. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.